The afternoon sun burned hot against the cracked asphalt of a lonely Massachusetts back road. 10-year-old Maya Johnson adjusted the straps of her faded backpack as she walked home from school, her sneakers crunching on the gravel shoulder. She had learned to love these quiet walks, time to think, to dream, to forget for a while that her adoptive mother was gone. Up ahead, a sleek red Shelby GT500 Mustang sat steaming by the roadside, its hood lifted like an open jaw gasping for air. Beside it, a tall white man in a tailored Navy suit paced back and forth, shouting into a cell phone. "I don't care what it costs, just send the tow truck," he barked. "I have a meeting with the governor in less than 3 hours." Maya slowed her steps. The man looked completely out of place out here. Too clean, too polished for this rural black neighborhood 2 hours from Boston. Her Aunt Renee's voice echoed in her head. Never talk to strangers, especially rich ones. But something about the man's frustration made her stop. She could fix things. She always could. "Excuse me, sir?" she called, her small voice cutting through the heavy air. "Need some help with your car?" The man turned, startled. His irritation softened into disbelief when he saw the little girl in braids, wearing an oversized MIT t-shirt and dusty sneakers. "That's kind of you, sweetheart," he said, forcing a smile. "But this is a high-performance engine. I need a real mechanic." Maya shrugged, dropping her backpack to the ground. "My uncle's a mechanic. He taught me a lot. I can take a look if you want." Before he could object, she leaned under the hood, her small hands moving with surprising confidence. "When did the problem start?" she asked. "About 40 minutes ago. The engine overheated and died," he replied. "Did you smell anything sweet? Like syrup?" He blinked. "Actually, yes." "Coolant leak," Maya said simply, pointing to a faint green puddle under the car. "That's why it overheated." The man, Andrew Whitaker, CEO of Whitaker Enterprises, couldn't help but stare. There was something oddly familiar about her, the way she frowned in concentration, the steadiness in her voice. "What's your name?" he asked. "Maya Johnson." She wiped her hand on her shorts and extended it. Andrew shook it, and for a moment something electric passed between them. "I can patch the hose for now," she said, opening her backpack and pulling out a small toolkit. "It won't last forever, but it'll get you to town." Andrew watched, half amazed, half humbled, as this little girl repaired his 6-figure car with nothing but tape and determination. When she raised her hand to brush away a strand of hair, he noticed something. A ring on her finger. An emerald ring, set in antique gold. The light hit the stone, and Andrew froze. His chest tightened. He recognized the pattern inside the gem, a tiny crescent-shaped flaw. He had seen it before. "Maya," he said slowly, voice trembling, "that ring, where did you get it?" Maya looked down, twisting the ring thoughtfully. "It was my mom's, my adoptive mom. She said it was important. She passed away last year." Andrew swallowed hard, his pulse racing. "Did she ever tell you where she got it?" "She said it belonged to someone special, and that one day I'd understand why." Andrew tried to steady his breathing. 12 years ago, he had given that exact ring, that very one, to a little black girl named Maya at an orphanage called Little Angels. He had promised he'd come back for her, but he never did. The orphanage closed suddenly, the files disappeared, and the child was gone. Now here she was, standing right in front of him. He cleared his throat, trying to mask the storm behind his calm expression. "Can I give you a ride home? It's the least I can do for saving me." Maya hesitated, but then nodded. "Okay." The drive was quiet at first. Andrew asked careful questions: where she lived, who she stayed with. She mentioned her aunt and uncle, the Johnsons, who took her in after her mother's death. Then she said something that made his knuckles tighten around the steering wheel. "I was adopted from an orphanage called Little Angels," she said softly. "But it closed right after." Andrew's world blurred for a moment. "Little Angels," he whispered. "Are you sure?" "Yes." "Why?" He forced a smile. "Just curious." When they reached her modest home, Maya thanked him and ran toward the porch. The emerald ring caught the last of the sunlight, glowing like a secret. Andrew sat motionless, watching her disappear through the door. Then, almost in a daze, he pulled out his phone. "Ramirez," he said. "Find everything you can about a girl named Maya Johnson. Age 10. Lives with the Johnson family outside Boston. Start with Little Angels Orphanage." That night, sleep evaded him. He kept seeing the ring, that ring, the one tied to the darkest secret of his family's empire. Within days, his investigator confirmed what Andrew feared. Maya's mother, Diana Johnson, was a former nurse at the orphanage. She had vanished with a child the night the place shut down. The records were falsified, adoption files missing. Even her car accident last year, suspicious. Andrew's blood ran cold. His father, Howard Whitaker, had orchestrated the orphanage's closure. The property had been absorbed into a corporate development project. But that wasn't all. Files showed a secret program, Project Prometheus, targeting gifted children from underprivileged backgrounds for experimental cognitive studies. Maya's name was circled in red. Next to it, "Special Case, Contact HW." Andrew stared at the documents, horrified. His family hadn't just stolen from the poor, they had stolen children. The next day, Andrew drove back to the Johnsons' house, but 2 black SUVs were already there. Men in suits stood by the porch talking to Maya's uncle. Something was wrong. Andrew's phone buzzed. Ramirez again. "Sir, your father knows you're digging. He's sending people to clean up the files. And the witnesses." Andrew hit the gas. But before he could reach the porch, a familiar voice stopped him. Maya, holding her backpack tight, eyes filled with fear but determination. "I found something," she said quietly. "A letter from my mom. It says you were the one who gave her the ring, and that you promised to come back." Andrew's heart broke. "I did, Maya. I swear I did. But my father—" Before he could finish, the SUVs roared to life and sped away, leaving behind a silence thick with truth. That night, under the flickering light of his study, Andrew made a decision that would change everything. He gathered every document, every file, every photograph that proved what his father had done, and he went public. News broke across the country. Whitaker Empire exposed. Billion-dollar corporation used orphanage for human experimentation. Howard Whitaker was arrested. The empire collapsed. And Maya, the little girl with the emerald ring, became a symbol of truth, the spark that burned down corruption. Years later, the Johnson Center for Young Inventors stood on the same land where Little Angels once was. Maya, now a teenager, taught other kids how to fix engines, build circuits, and believe in their own potential. Andrew watched from a distance, no longer a billionaire, but finally at peace, because the little girl who fixed his Mustang had also fixed his soul.